In the Ethereum charts today, Ethereum appears to be making a very interesting pattern, but where is it going to play out? In the last few days, we've seen a bit of a decline to the downside, but something very interesting is happening in the ETH accumulation. Hello guys, and welcome to the House of Crypto. I make videos about Ethereum as well as Bitcoin, ICOs and other cryptocurrencies. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button as well as the like button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in the cryptocurrency market as it happens. Without further ado then, let's jump into the chart. So guys, the 4-hour chart for Ethereum, we saw this large sort of descending wedge pattern which has been playing out for some time now, and we did have this breakout back a couple of days ago at the end of June. And we have been sort of playing around on top of this pattern for a while. Now, we did say that we would look, once we broke out, to come back for a retest, which we did. We then sort of moved up higher and again got rejected back down to the downside. But as you can see, yesterday, yesterday evening time, we had this sort of support forming here with a few wicks to the downside. And we did see then this sort of move back towards the upside. So jumping back to the 1 hour, something very interesting is happening. Now if we look at the 1 hour again, we then formed sort of a descending wedge pattern, obviously much smaller than this big one over here, and then again we've had a breakout, but in terms of where the target would come for this particular descending wedge here would be back towards the top of here. Something else that's very interesting is we've got a shoulder here with a head and then another shoulder coming in here, which at the moment you can see we did kind of break through. We then got rejected and pushed back to the downside, and at the moment we appear to have been confirming this pattern, you know, with this wick being formed here. So it'll be interesting to see once this candle closes whether we get another candle that's a sort of a bullish engulfing candle coming towards the upside. And if we get that, then in my opinion, then we're going to move to a target slightly further up. And the target for the head and shoulders, if we take from the neckline here and we move it down to the sort of the bottom of the head level, and then we come back up towards the same neckline, you can see that that would then take us back up to 2264, which, as you know, might not necessarily be that significant. And to continue to have sort of a stronger uptrend, we do really need to break this level here. But before we get to that level, there's something else that we need to take a look at. If we take the Fibonacci retracement tool and we take it from this low back on the 26th of June, we move it back up to the top here, you can see something very significant has happened. We've come up and we've hit the 0.236 before being stiffly rejected. And in the past, if you look at the level we're currently sat at, when we came down, we had a touch here, and we kind of moved up and down through it a number of times, but kind of has clearly formed a good deal of resistance on the way up and has also acted as support on the way back down. So as I mentioned, if this next candle can break through, then the next level, in my opinion, is going to be back up towards the 2290 level, which, as I mentioned, you know, coming back again, we can see that this performed quite strongly as resistance. And again, you know, we had that kind of stiff breakdown. If we are to be able to continue and move up in an upward trend, then this is something very key to look at. And something else that I want to show you right now that's going to have potentially a really big impact on that is this. So this is over on sentiment.com, and it shows the outflow of ETH. And basically when outflow is happening, obviously it's exchanges losing their supply. The supply is coming off the market. When we've got lower supply and big demand, obviously the price has to move up. And what I want to show you is, looking at this chart, you can see the pink lines exchange outflow. Okay, so every time we've had these big kind of peaks, we've seen the sort of price move higher. Okay, so we have a peak here. Okay, it did fall down a bit, but then we had that big surge up, and then we had sort of peaks all the way up through this area here, But notice when we have a kind of a downtrend, the peaks sort of disappear, and that was true as well. Obviously we had these two here, but that was more to kind of like buying up the dip. But this large area here, we haven't had a peak in the outflow for quite some time, and then suddenly this peak here back yesterday is now showing at a very high level. And what does that mean for us? Potentially that means that, you know, all the weaker hands have been shaken out, and we are potentially building towards an upside move. And if we look across, looking across at the Wyckoff accumulation schematic, while Ethereum isn't necessarily playing out to this, Bitcoin is, and Bitcoin is moving, which is obviously going to have an impact on Ethereum. So at the moment where Bitcoin is, and it's pretty much followed this exactly to the sort of T almost, through these times. And basically this is an accumulation phase, so where we have a dip and it allows buyers to come in at lower levels, and where we've literally just moved out of, we're actually at the moment sort of around the end of phase C and the beginning of phase D. And if this chart continues to play out, and it feels like right now this chart is definitely playing out because we are seeing that kind of move back towards the upside, the market gaining a bit more confidence, then we are looking potentially to move into phase D. Now, obviously phase E would be back towards the highs that we saw a couple of months ago, around the sort of $4,000 plus dollars. But phase D would take us back towards sort of $3,000, and obviously on the way up we would likely see some more kind of accumulation phases, etc., to allow the kind of buyers to come in, etc. So as I mentioned, guys, key levels that we want to be paying attention to at the moment is what is happening literally on this 1 hour chart on Ethereum. If we do manage to break back above the 0.236 on the Fibonacci retracement, then we are likely to move up and be then retesting this sort of level between the 2238 and up towards the sort of 2287. And if we can break through there, then in my opinion, the accumulation schematic, which we've just looked at for Bitcoin, is going to be kind of coming into force, and we are going to be looking to move to the upside in actually not necessarily that long a period of time. Now, potentially on the other side of things, if we do get rejected here and we do fall lower and we fall perhaps below one of these shoulder lines, then we are going to look probably to come back down to retest this orange level. But as I speak, we are holding this as support, which is actually really, really good in my opinion, because obviously in the past it held as support, and every time we held as support we moved higher. So key levels to watch here, currently around the 2,138, which is pretty much the current price, up towards the 2,290, and if we can break above 2,300 and hold above 2,300, then in my opinion we're going to continue back towards the top, back to a new uptrend, probably signaling the end of this current downtrend, in my opinion. Obviously, guys, I could be wrong. Go away and do your own research. There's obviously lots of information available. You've worked hard for your money, so make sure you look after it and don't necessarily just do things that you hear people talking about without being confident in your own decision making from the news that you've read, etc. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Please smash up that like button. It really helps me to get this content out to more people, and it only takes you a couple of seconds. As well, if you're new to the channel and you have Ethereum or you're interested in Ethereum, as well as other cryptocurrencies, ICOs that have done up to 1,000% in just the last month, then make sure you smash that subscribe button as well to be kept up to date with daily videos on Ethereum as well as other cryptos. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good weekend, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.